A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Sometimes you just need to be hit in the mouth for a second to realize it's okay to hit somebody back in the mouth. And that's what happened last night at AmFam Field as our Milwaukee Brewers took a commanding 2-0 lead in the NLDS against the Chicago Cubs. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder, and this is the show of the kicker. This is the show of the still cleanly shaven. This is the show of the one and the only. Man, you are just like, your baby face is like model. Like, you're not Kmart model. You are like, I don't even know what.
Well, like Nordstrom Rack.
Versace or something. He is Mason Crosby.
Oh, man, I got a haircut this morning too, boys.
Oh,
I mean,
you?
everything
Man.
fresh. Yeah, but, I'm always rocking the hat. So, I think the Brewers just want to spot the Cubs, run, 3 runs, whatever. It's just, they're just toying with them, It's just like it's a predator toying with its prey. And that's what we got to witness last night. So, and they said the Brewers couldn't win games with their bats, with home runs. And they just said, well, we're just going to prove you wrong. I love, have you seen all these like Cubs fans reactions? Like on social media, the best stuff ever. And I know all the Milwaukee, all the Brewers fans, everybody probably is watching those and just loving them as they're reliving it this morning. But I was watching one, and it's that first inning, and someone's live streaming, and the Cubs fans are just going nuts. Like, all right, we got it, 3-run homer. And then sure enough, and I was I'm watching, I'm on the way home, and I'm like, I see the Cubs go up 3-0, and then literally in 5 minutes, like getting home, and I turn on the TV and it's 3-3. Like Nolan yelled. He was like, "Dad, did you see this?" And I was like, "What is going on?"
You mean this happening? Another payoff. And it's a high fly ball to left field. Happ underneath it, in front of the wall. This ball's gone!
Ooh. So I will say, and that's courtesy TBS, I will say from the press box, it looked exactly how he called it. It looked like it was going to be a warning track or out the wall. It did look like Happ was tracking it, and Happ was under it. And then the ball just kept carrying. Yeah. And then it even got up to the second deck, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they said 30 out of 30 stadiums. That
right.
was out.
Yes.
Right.
And on top of it, then, to give him the lead, this one, no doubt
this
gone.
One.
Contreras with a drive to left field. And the Brewers have the lead.
That one was unbelievable.
A no-doubt shot.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so dirty. It looked like he kind of looked over at the egg council a little bit, like as he's just standing on home plate, just waiting for it to go. And then that just dropped that phone, call in that next guy, because this is over.
And there's so many plots to this one about should he have been on the phone to the bullpen already? Or when Vaughn hit a grand slam against them earlier in the season, when Counsell was on the phone before Vaughn had even
That's what he was
home.
trolling him.
Trolling him on all
just
the
on
things.
all fronts.
Like, nope, we're hanging up the phone right now.
Call up the
Sit
next
down,
guy.
Craig.
Call up the next guy.
William Contreras, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Bill, as we call him.
Yeah, who's William?
Bill. Sorry,
Bill Contreras, professional hitter.
He is also Shota Imanaga's daddy, if you didn't know this,
by
the way.
Yes.
He's batting 300 in the regular season with 2 homers, with a 900 slugging percentage, and he's batting 1,000 with a 2,500 slugging percentage with a homer off of him in the playoffs now.
I even looked that up. Like, I saw the stats against Imanaga yesterday,
it's ridiculous.
And I'm just mad I didn't put Contreras in my underdog wager last night. But absolutely, Mason, I mean, just like that the Cubs. All right, so game 1, right? They lead off for the home run.
Yep.
And this is the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Feel free to call or text in your thoughts about this series. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Cubs lead off with a home run in game one, and it's one run. Like, it's not a big deal. Freddie does that sometimes. Brewers respond with 6. It's a little bit different of a feel when you give up a 3-run homer against now at the time when Ashby starts, we don't know if the plan was Ashby for 2 and then Priester for 6, or if it really was a bullpen day. But all of a sudden, like, the wind gets sucked out of AmFam Field a little bit, and then Churio strikes out, and then Terang strikes out, and it's like, okay, you just scored 3 on us. Starting the first inning, our first 2 guys both strike out, and then Churio and Yelich say, "Not so fast, my friends," and Andrew Vaughn says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, I know, ridiculous. And then now you hear the now you hear the the Cubs fans and all these different, like, are they stealing signals? Are they?
That's insane.
And then they're saying, like, the Brewers using juiced baseballs. It's like, y'all been saying they can't hit home runs. Now they have juiced baseballs. Like, what is going on right now? But I think all that is just honestly tongue in cheek, where it's like this, like some Cubs troll is just throwing out all these stats. I love all that nonsense that happens after games like this. And yeah, I mean, what a ridiculous team this is. Like, how fun to watch. I mean, the audacity in game 2 of the postseason to have a bullpen game. Like, it's just like, how ridiculous is that they're just going to be like, man, we're just going to have a bullpen game. We don't even need to play put our starters out there. We're just going to rest them because this series is over. We're on to the NLCS already.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot of speculation of what we were doing over at Kelly's, which was an awesome event yesterday, by the way. Kelly's
looked packed. Yeah, it looked like it was rocking.
It was packed. It was rocking. It was awesome. But there was a lot of speculation on who was going to be that next guy out, right? It was Ashby, and then who was going to be going. And with that move to Nick Mears, like, further solidifying that the gamesmanship that Mr. Murphy, he walked Quinn Priester out to the bullpen on purpose. That was so
all right, so a couple things. With Mears coming out, I still thought that could have just been to finish the second inning and let's start the third inning clean. But the fact that and Murph was asked this in the press conference about gamesmanship, and because Priester and Ashby threw together in the bullpen before the game.
Yeah, it's
and Murphy.
Gamey.
I don't know if we have that Murphy talking about that. That was like one of the last questions he had. But he basically said, no, he was just throwing in between starts.
Yes.
That's just normal.
Yes.
And like, we're all sitting there like, Murph, you are playing mental games, and you are winning, and you are cashing checks on accounts. Craig Counsell might have all the money for going to the Cubs, but he doesn't have all the baseball mental checks that Pat Murphy has right now.
And on top of it, we talked about this. We haven't even brought him up yet, but
runner takes off from first. It's grounded right back to Mizorowski, and he'll jog all the way to the bag.
Mizorowski fired up. A clean inning.
Jacob Mizorowski, 100% MVP of the game. In my mind, I know, like, everything the offense did was great, but to see that moment out of Jacob Mizorowski to gain that confidence back into his game, and for Pat Murphy, again, to play the gamesmanship of, instead of going with the guy that everyone – weeks ago, it was Quinn Priester's got game 2, right? Quinn Priester's got game 2. Like, everyone thought it was going to be Quinn Priester. And then Mason, right? Like, they go out to Miz, and meanwhile, he's so amped up, he's throwing 104 during the game.
How many? Is this a real stat? Did he have 31 pitches over 100 miles an hour?
Yes.
That is insanity.
So, and
just gas.
And Mace, there was so much good stuff. So after the game, Murphy's up there with his kids, and then Churio and Contreras are up there. And then Miz and Vaughn are up there. Yeah. And one of the questions from Miz and Vaughn was like, did you know you were hitting 104? Like, did you know? And all Miz said was he was extra amped up. And they asked, I think Kurt Hogue asked, like, do you ever peek at the big board? Like, to see what you're throwing?
See what it was.
And Miz is like, no, I'm so locked in. And Vaughn looks up and he's like, I was peeking. I knew he was throwing 104. 104. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And again, he was getting them to, like, he was just like, I texted y'all because it was like that energy from Miz. Because Tommy was like, just throw strikes. And it's like,
we were like, no. We want that excitement.
But I think that energy and that juice was like you could tell the Cubs wanted to hit him so bad that they were swinging at stuff that they shouldn't have, and they couldn't get a grasp of like what was going on. They're like, why is this guy so juiced up in the third and fourth inning? What is happening right now?
This is how I know Mason Crosby knows ball.
I got breaking news.
All right, hold on one sec. Because Craig Counsell said that they wanted to get to Miz before he settled in. They knew he'd be extra amped up. They tried to get to him early. It didn't work. Tommy's got breaking news.
Traded and planning to start this week, Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Whoa.
Right there. Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, Bengals, the next opponent for the Green Bay Packers.
Shador time for the Browns. That's all I heard.
I mean,
Shador is starting for the Browns.
It wouldn't have broken if that wasn't there. But
Flacco to the Bengals.
Matt Schneidman also tweeting out Joe Flacco starting against the Packers for the second time in 3 weeks, it seems. So, yes, Joe Flacco traded to the Cincinnati Bengals.
So instead of 2 interceptions off Browning, we'll just have 3 off Flacco? Is that what's going to – is that the plan?
You know what this is? This is the NFL – the conspiracy theory. This is the NFL that Micah Parsons has never sacked Flacco.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Now he's going to get one against.
There you go.
We can talk about it on the other
Micah
side.
Parsons to get a sack on Joe Flacco.
We'll talk about this on the other side. But Mason, I also want to talk about Miz and the fact that he took that ball to first base. We asked him about that after the game, and he basically said he didn't trust himself. He was so jacked up that he just thought he was going to throw it into right field.
But then, throw it up into the stands.
But then he steps on the base, and then he does he celebrates and he goes nuts. And it was
I wish they would have stayed on Vaughn a little bit longer. Because did you see Vaughn? He's like, like most guys, it's an inning, it's a long game. He has, he's not coming in to pitch. So he started jogging off, saw Miz's reaction, and he just put his hands behind his back and step back, just all right, let this guy do what he's doing. What's going on here?
That's awesome. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. We obviously are matching the Brewers and Mizorowski's energy from last night today here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. KJ is in West Dallas. KJ, lead things off for us today on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Good midday to you.
Well, thank you. Yes, listen, that script couldn't have gone any better last night for the Brewers, right? I mean, you had all your relievers come out there after Ashby. The Brewers put the Cubs in here we go again mode like they did in game 1. And I think they were completely deflated after that 3-run home run because they thought, as Cubs fans probably did, that the game was pretty much in hand for them, right? But it wasn't. And my unsung hero for this game, Thunder, was Andrew Vaughn. Not because of the home run,
but
of course,
the defense.
That was it, but he made some unbelievable.
That throw
at first.
Yeah, you know what, KJ, that's a great point. And Murph talked about that after the game as well, about how when they got Andrew Vaughn, they were told that he was a less than fielder. And we all know Jake Bauers is probably the best fielder of Bauers, Vaughn, and Hoskins. But, man, Vaughn played the position last night like a stud.
Yes, he did. And I think that gave them a lot of momentum going forward in the game. And, the fact that Churio came out after being doubtful, it was not up in the air till game time probably, right? To come out and hit that 3-run home run, I mean, that just completely put him over the top. And I pretty much think at this point the Cubs are done. Well, obviously 2-0 is going to be very difficult for the Cubs to come back from, but I think they're done.
I agree with you.
KJ, thanks for the call.
It's over for the Cubs.
Mace, you agree? All right, so let's get into this because this is very different than football, right? Football, there are no series in football. It's one and done. In a series, in baseball, it sure feels like the Brewers have the Cubs number. In the first 2 games, they definitely did. But we all know tomorrow at 4:00, things can change. If Jameson Taillon doesn't give up a run tomorrow, all of a sudden things change, and it's like, so how do you balance that? Like, man, it sure. And I'm gonna say it too. It sure feels over.
Yeah,
but then
I think series in the regular season for baseball are different than the postseason too, right?
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
If this was regular season, it's like, I mean, they've already won the series. Like, who cares? Yeah, about this game, really? But the fact, honestly, I think it's worse for the Cubs that there's a day in between. Like, I think the Cubs would be feeling a lot better if they were reloading today. Just like, all right, let's flush that one. Let's get home. Let's see if we can get that now. I mean, you're given another days of rest. Like, these guys are, Churio gets another day to get healthy. You're thinking about all those things. Yeah. So their media is probably just berating them nonstop. So it's just like the weight of everything is just going to have another day to settle on them. So, yeah. And then, I mean, the Brewers have Quinn Priester on the bump to start this game. I mean, it's just like, it's insanity. So, yeah, I love that, and it's a 4:00 start, which is awesome. I think that's just going to be good. Get this thing over with and let them go and roll into the NLCS, just feeling really good about themselves.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. It's just joyous, right? It's just joy. The only thing that's not joyous is that the game ended after 11 o'clock, and I'm old and I'm tired.
That was a long one for you.
And it was a long game because both teams had so many pitching changes that, like, we've seen the time of game go down so much. Yeah. But in the playoffs, when you use seven pitchers, and you're changing guys in inning, like, that does extend a game. But you know what? I would have taken that game to go to 1 o'clock. If the Brewers are going to win, I don't care how long it is. I don't care how late it is. I don't care how early it is. If the Brewers get the W and the Cubs fly the L, that's all that matters, baby.
That's all that matters.
Jackson Churio now tied, by the way, third most home runs and third most RBIs in Brewers postseason history.
It's his second year.
It's his second.
He's played 5 games.
He is
crazy.
1 home run away from tying the record. He is 7 RBIs away from breaking the from tying the record in the RBIs.
Whose home run was it when PCA ran into the wall?
That was Churio.
Churio, the ball's literally
right. Like, what is he?
The top of the?
I was
almost out of the park.
I was wondering if PCA was going to get hurt. So I actually
the ball. The best is though the ball bounces in front of him off the wall.
Exactly.
He's just sitting there deflated.
I think that at bat actually is worth going back and watching from the beginning, because we said it in the we were sitting there in the press box and we all turned to each other after the second foul off that he hammered the first foul ball. Yeah. And then he hammered the second foul ball.
Oh, he was loaded.
And we were all saying he is on this ball. If he can straighten this out, this ball's going. And then literally the crack of the bat. And it's like,
well, he threw him just an egg across the plate. I mean, that thing was just perfect for him.
Yeah. That ball also was 101 miles an hour that he hit out as well during that. So just shout out to him.
Just absolutely wonderful.
Easy game.
Yeah. Easy. You know what? Easy game. As Pat Murphy likes to say, this is his best line, Mace, that Tommy and I love. Players don't hit home runs. Pitchers pitch home runs. Like, it's the pitch. Yeah. It's not the hit.
For sure.
And he said, maybe Contreras hit a home run the way he just turned on his, but Vaughn and Contreras, those were both pitches that they hit that home run on.
Yes. And I'm proud of our show. We were the most confident of any show by far on this station.
Oh, yes,
in our Brewers. Everyone was scared, and we hung strong.
Not scared.
We were like, let's bring it. We want that. All the smoke.
Bring the noise. Yeah.
And
the Mason Crosby show is never scared.
Never scared.
You know who else I'm not scared of, Mason? I'm not scared of Joe Flacco. I'm not scared. Congratulations, Cincinnati Bengals. You are, what are they, 2-3?
Yeah.
And now you got Flacco, and Flacco is he is. Do you know we use Flacco at our house as a word meaning mid? We don't say mid anymore. We just say Flacco. Like if we get a meal at a restaurant and it's just mid, we're like, man, that meal was Flacco.
That was so Flacco.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll catch on, but
it'll play.
Use it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll talk more about what the Bengals are hoping for with that move with Flacco. Just
I think competency.
Just run an offense and give the ball to Jamar Chase as much as possible.
Right.
I mean, is that just kind of the plan?
Well, we'll get to that. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. Brewers 7, Cubs 3. And of course, we buried the lead. Bucks with a huge win in South Beach last night. Let's go. Nah, come on. First game in preseason. Good to be back on the court.
Hey, a win's a win. A win's a win.
And we're 2 weeks away from opening night. Like that's crazy. It's 2 weeks in a day. So it's.
Are you going to go to any of the games?
I will be at opening night.
Tickets.
I did buy a 10-pack.
Oh,
I didn't buy season tickets, but I bought
not a 12-pack.
No. I'll buy 2 extras maybe and round it up. Like I said, he's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Dial it up. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. How you feeling about the Brewers today? How you feeling about the Cubs today? And are you scared of Joe Flacco? This is the Mason Crosby Show.
Never scared.
Was there any concern on your part at the end of the regular season about whether you'd be on the NLDS roster?
Yeah, I mean, it's out of my control. So, I mean, it's just, you see your name on the list and, you're going to go and perform how they expect you and, help the team win.
That is Jacob Mizorowski, who, as we know, did not pitch very strongly in August and September, but sure as heck fire pitched well last night. My name's Mitch Nellis. He is Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. This is the Mason Crosby Show. What can you say about Jacob Mizorowski last night, Mason?
Oh, gosh, what can I say? I mean, I think we talked about this for a long time. Like, even when he was rolling as a starter and he was picking up wins, doing a good job. It was just like we could envision seeing him being like a bullpen, like a reliever type guy come postseason. Yeah. And if he can control those pitches, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So 31 pitches over 100 miles an hour, and like he's hitting insane. 104, like multiple times, and then his slider, like that one pitch that the breaking ball, that it looked like it's going left and then moves it, and the batter, whoever was in there, like froze because it was just like, what is going on right here? So, and I love his like youthful energy too.
I think that was going to be my follow-up, Mason.
Yeah.
Like, I assume that there are some like baseball purists
who
don't like the energy,
stoic,
who don't like
right?
what
Tommy,
do you think?
Tommy, look at Tommy boy.
Look, this is all I was saying is that chill out, little bro. On inning one.
Nope.
When it was inning one,
dude's pitching in the Major League Baseball playoffs.
100%. I am not anti. I am not
I would have
anti.
lost my brain if I was pitching in the Major League playoffs. In 23.
Not anti-celebration. I am not anti-fun. I am not anti any of that. Mm-hmm. You do that after you're done. Like if he gives up a homer, the memes that come from that are terrible.
You're right,
so I would have, if he did that after inning 3, like, yeah, fire me up. Let's go. Inject that into my veins. Inning 1. That scared me. I was like, you're going back out there. The plan was always from Murphy. He said in his post-game presser, like 30 to 50 pitches. Yep. I was nervous for him, not upset at him after that.
Go ahead, Mace.
So you were just like, you were concerned about like the repercussions that he would have faced if all of a sudden he got, like
if the next inning went sideways.
Yeah, the next inning went sideways. Like,
right.
But who cares?
Yeah, it didn't.
Get fired up. But I'm a football guy at heart. It's like obviously it's like football. Like literally coaches would say like, if you don't have it, like produce false energy, like false height, all that, like which I think is dumb as well.
Yeah, I mean,
you could tell that was real. Like, I mean, he got the final out. He had a clean inning. Like the dude was juiced. Give him his juice. Yes. I love it. And then he settled in, and then he really settled really well. Yeah. Like after that, I think some guys just need that fire to kind of get their nerves calmed down.
Fire and to like have that release.
Yeah, it's a release. Yeah.
You also are coming from football where they celebrate 2-yard gains. Like it's like I mean, it's first down every time. I mean, we Chase Claypool, right? Where at the end of the game, he's like pointing after, and they don't even get another playoff. Like they celebrate in football.
It's an involuntary reaction.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, totally it's too like you have like 10 seconds. Like get up and get the ball down. It's
right.
Like, yeah.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan talking text line. 414-677-1250. How do you feel about the pitching last night specifically? Do you agree or disagree about Ashby as the opener, going to Mears for a batter, then Mizorowski for 3, and then a host of pitchers, inning by inning by inning? Priester not pitching last night. Priester now scheduled to start game 3 tomorrow at 4:08 at Wrigley. Obviously, it worked out because the Brewers won.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like it was working out in the first inning. And so I'm just curious, like, what people's thoughts. And feel free to, you can give us a call or you can shoot us a text at 414-46, because at 414-677-1250. I actually, Mace, I didn't hate the decision. Ashby has been lights out. He has started for most of his career. Like, I just thought that getting Ashby, listen, it got Bush out of the lineup and got Justin Turner in the lineup, and he flew out to left to start the game. So immediately, one batter in, it was a win for the Brewers. It just didn't go that way. But I I still liked the decision.
I think Murph, again, it's just the ultimate troll. Like, had Priester just kind of throwing some in the bullpen, and then it's like, we'll just give them a 3-run little lead here so that we'll keep it interesting and let everybody kind of have their feels so we can just crush the Cubs fan base's soul and just take everything from Chicago once again. So I love it. Obviously, Mitch, you and I talked about it yesterday. We had somebody hit us on Fan Talk and Text line yesterday that they didn't like the overthink or like doing all this. And I know Tommy, and I'd love to hear Tommy's thought after a successful outing, because he was like, oh man, you just got to roll with Priester. He's deserved it, all those things, which there's always a piece of me where it's like, if this backfires, like that's not like, it wasn't a good decision, obviously, but they went out there. That was the ultimate Brewers type of game, right? It's like seven pitchers. Just get your guys some action in like a postseason game at home. You get the win. Now you get to start Quinn Priester on the road in Chicago, who is just a dog. Yes. And then you just went out there and like decided to hit home runs to score all your points.
Right.
Like, this Brewers team is ridiculous, and I love every part of it.
Oh, well, all the points I don't know how many points they scored, but they did score runs for sure.
That
was too easy. That was too easy. Well, sorry. I will say this.
I think he was trolling you, Tommy.
Yeah.
God, you're so good looking.
You do.
How are you that good looking and an NFL kicker? Like, that's not fair, man.
Yeah, modeling didn't work out, so I had to go to.
I will say this. Obviously, it looks like a genius move now. It looked like a very dumb move in the first inning. It did not look great.
It did not look great.
And I will credit Josh Albrecht, who was on the leadoff show with me there, basically saying that all of these moves can look like nothing if the offense just does their thing, right? If the offense is able to go out and just perform. And now I will say this, though, however, it's more genius, right? Because the plan was never Quinn Priester. It really
never.
Like, it looks so much smarter because the Cubs were like, Quinn Priester is going to pitch after Aaron Ashby, and they're sending him out there in the bullpen.
We were expecting that yesterday.
Oh,
we were expecting Ashby for 2 and Priester for 5 for 6.
Now I was not expecting what they did.
No,
I was not
we were not expecting full lean into bullpen game and Mizorowski for 3.
Now here's the other thing, though, that I really don't quite understand.
Okay, I'll explain it to you.
Is Quintana's position on the DS roster, because you could have just kept Tobias Myers, who has starter and reliever experience, so he has the flexibility. And I don't know where he pitches in this series because I don't really love him for game 4, if that's the thing.
Ooh,
Mitch hasn't it. Mitch, Thunder.
Thank you, Mason. The Quintana on the roster is, listen, you don't know that you're going to go up 2-0, right?
Sure.
Like if you split or if the Cubs win game 3, Quintana is there for game 4. And I think Quintana was always there. I think if Murph had plotted this out, he would have said Freddie 1, bullpen 2 with Ashby, Quinn 3, Quintana 4, Freddie 5. I think that has always been the plan. I think Quinn is a dog, and Quintana is a dog who has pitched a ton at Wrigley.
Yes.
He was a Cub and a White Sox, so he has pitched a ton at Wrigley Field. He's not, even if they were down 2-1 and he's pitching game 4, the moment would not have been too big for him. He would not have been intimidated by pitching at Wrigley. He still won't be. And listen, sometimes in a 5-game series, the starter doesn't get in. Like, I think if you look at all 8 of these teams, the Dodgers are probably having that conversation now too. Like, they probably have a guy in their roster who's not going to end up pitching in the series, who would have if it had gone longer. But now Quintana and Freddie are both super fresh if, knock on Formica, knock on Skull, knock on Metal, whatever you want to knock on. If this goes to the next round, you've got 1 and 2 ready to go with Freddie and Quintana. And then the rest will give you Priester starting game 3, and you start it over again. I think that's where you look at it. It's not always like a guy's on a roster and we know what his role is going to be. It's if break in case of emergency, or we're going to use him if we need to use him. And that's what I think Quintana is on this roster for, as opposed to, sure, Tobias Myers could be in there and he could have pitched an inning last night, and he could be an opener in game 4 for another bullpen game. But this way they have that starter ready to go if it gets to game 4.
How about our boy Chad Patrick too, Mason?
Dude,
Like just going in,
Byron
doing his
BBs.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
he could have pitched another inning.
That's the guy, right?
We were surprised. We were surprised he didn't come out for one more because he was
that is
pitching
a little
BBs.
surprise. Yeah. Which I think that's a great role for him, right? Like I think as a starter, unfortunately, this whole regular season, it just didn't play out the way that like he didn't pitch bad, really, like the whole season, but it just didn't feel like it worked whenever he was the starter. So him coming in like that is just a great to have that as an option in the postseason.
Mason, he probably came in and looked at the scoreboard and was like, "Wait a minute, I never get 7 runs when I started. What is going on here?
Yeah, what is this?
What? I didn't even know that was allowed."
Did you bet the over, Tommy?
I told Austin Herdina that 7.5. Like
7.5 number, y'all crushed.
Here's the other thing, though. Parlay for the people plus 310 did hit yesterday, although it doesn't matter. So it was Yelich to get a hit, Happ to not get a hit, and then Brewers win, and that was plus 310. All Austin does is throw out heaters. Like he doesn't need more betting advice from me, but if you are listening to me in the background, 7.5 line, you hammer that over on 7.5 every time.
I wonder what your wager for the people at plus 310 would have been if you had added the over to it.
Yeah,
that just boosts it up even more.
Can I give one more shout out before we go to break here?
Can Mason Crosby? Hold on. Here's Mason Crosby with another shout out.
With a shout out. We got to give Durbin just a little clap on take another hit by pitch, right in the elbow, 101 mile an hour in the elbow, no flinch. I talk about that. Like I always say, Randall Cobb had the best pop-up game I'd ever seen by a receiver, and it was expected by those guys like Jordy, all those guys. They were like, you get rocked, you pop up. You go to the sideline, you can lick your wounds, but you're going to pop up and show them you're not hurt. Yep. Durbin takes that to the elbow, just stone face, walks over. I loved it, man. Like that is that kind of stuff. That is like, it's unspoken. It's it's not a play. Like, it's not like you got a hit or did it, but it just speaks to what this team is. And that kind of stuff, you don't see that all the time in baseball, right? And I think this team has that fire in them, and that's why I loved it from Miz. That's why I loved seeing Durbin get hit, and he's just like, nope, nothing.
I'm good.
Maybe pitch at 104. Maybe I'll feel something next time, So I love that.
I got a clip here that actually speaks to that pretty well. It's a little over a minute here, but it's Pat Murphy basically talking about the hunger playing a role on this team in the postgame.
Murphy, you talk a lot about how you respond or your team responds, or in those moments.
I respond.
I think it's.
I do the same shit every day, man. I'm just standing there, you know what I mean? I'm just take a sip, put it down. I'm not responding.
It's about how the team responds when they get knocked down, or how in a fight, and you use that analogy a lot. It's one thing to do that in the regular season, but your team has now done it twice. After getting hit there in that first inning. Just what do you think of how your team has done that the last two games?
People are wondering, how does this team have the best record in baseball? How does this team and nobody predicted they'd be over 500. And then we have all the injuries. Certainly nobody was banking on us. But how did that happen? It's the group of people in the room. It's the group of people in the room that know how to wash it off. They know how to bounce back. They know how to have a bad series and understand the importance of the next pitch. And that relentless kind of behavior is, a separator. But don't think other teams and other guys don't do it too. We've just got a good collection of guys that, are happy they're in the big leagues. I call them cliffhangers, guys that don't know if their locker is going to be there when they get back to
That's a great line.
The deal. And that's a fun thing. That hunger, makes us look like we know what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Especially in this game, because this game is so in your head and it's so mental and it's so based on so many different things.
There's Pat Murphy talking about the roster, Mace.
He said my favorite word of all time, relentless. Like, I love that. I love the word relentless. It's just like how I approached every day going into what I did for a long time. And it speaks into so many areas, right? And it can mean so many things for so many people, but like in this baseball setting, you almost don't hear that word all the time. Like this, relentless pursuit and toughness and all of that. Like 162 games is a grind. you have to be that type of person if you want to go and try to win a World Series. So give me some. I mean, I think it's salt time. I don't need them, but I'm ripping some salts.
Let's go.
That's what Murph just did for me.
Awesome.
So I'm just gonna jump on it right now.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Stephen Burlington says, I didn't like it at first, but as I was watching the game, I realized the pitching was genius. It sets up the rotation for the rest of the series. Peralta in game 5 or game 1 of the NLCS. That's what we spoke about. No. Talking about somebody who's relentless. Joe Flacco just keeps playing against the Green Bay Packers. He
just wanted some more.
Right.
Wanted some more.
Well, who's he after this Sunday? Who's he going to get traded to then to play against the Packers again?
Yeah, exactly. Is he going to replace Aaron at Pittsburgh if something happens?
I mean, hey.
Isn't that crazy? Aaron's the only.
He could go back to
the. He could go back to Baltimore.
Yes,
that'd be a nice ending to a career. Just finish in Baltimore.
All right, let's talk about Joe Flacco. Let's talk about our Green Bay Packers when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. This is the Mason Crosby Show, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps, and everywhere you find your podcast. Just search the Mason Crosby Show. You can listen to segments. You can listen to whole shows on your time or on my time, really, because I'm right here, and Mason's here too.
Yep.
So
American
you do
Standard
it on
Time, anytime.
Yeah, because we're here. We're here, so it's our time too. It's all of our time.
It's all of our time.
It's actually come on.
This is
Mason.
Earth. This is Earth's time.
This is Earth Standard Time, and it's Joe Flacco's time.
It's Joe Flacco's time for the Bengals, but let's not call it Joe Flacco time.
Right. If you didn't hear the news earlier this hour, Joe Flacco's been traded from the Browns to the Bengals, expected to start this Sunday, 3:25 at Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. I haven't gone to let's see, I'm going to go to paysbig.com.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to check
if anything changed.
Got to see if anything changed, Mace. What do you think about this? Is this like, if you're a Bengals fan, does this give you any ray of sunshine?
My guess is the line, probably came down a little bit just to start. Ooh. And then it'll bounce right back up.
But Mace, if you're a Bengals fan, like in not the betting line, but in real life, like are you excited
I don't think
about
it changes
Flacco?
anything for you? Yeah, like what does that change, right?
Well, at least you have a quarterback that can like sling it around a little bit.
It did move half a point. It went from 14.5 to 14.
So like I think of it as like they were just so upset that they weren't getting Jamar Chase and T. Higgins involved in that offense, and they had a quarterback who was pretty much the worst quarterback I think I've ever seen on a field for a team, especially this year. And now they have a guy who at least is just going to be like, screw it, Jamar somewhere, right? And like throw it up there to him.
True. Yeah. I think
like
it's just
get it to him.
It's a game management type of thing. Like, we saw what Jamar Chase did at the end of the game against the Lions. Like he finally found some rhythm. Like he got some points for you, Tommy, in your fantasy league. But I think that's the idea, right? You bring in Joe Flacco just to run an offense, try to at least, get like, if it's going to get in a shootout, at least it's going to give you a better option to get the ball to Jamar Chase. I think that's it. And to T. Higgins. I mean, get the ball. Like you have paid wide receivers out there that are just like, they've been non-existent for most of the season without Joe Burrow under center. So I think that's the idea is, like Flacco, he's going to be smart with the ball. He's going to, try to make better decisions. And let's just hope it doesn't go like it did with the Browns. I mean, the Bengals defense is bad, so I don't think it's going to
and I don't
think
they've learned from that game.
Yeah, like you would, and it's not going to be like the Cowboys. Like, sure, this could be a 40-24 type of game. It could end up being something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
40-24 is all right.
It definitely could be that. So, Joe Flacco traded in the 1 o'clock hour. We will talk a little bit. Christian Watson talked to the media yesterday. We know he was at practice, so we'll go over that and hear what he had to say. 1:20, Mike Jock from NBC 15 in Madison is going to join us. He was at the Brewers game with me last night. But he's also obviously at all the Badgers games. So he'll tell us about what the Michigan game, what he saw there, what he's expecting this weekend against Iowa. He also covers the Packers too. So he's like, we can talk about all the things with him. And he's just an all around good guy. Like Jocko's just Jocko. He's just Jocko, right?
He's great. Yeah. So it'll be nice. So, just get a little taste of what we think the Badgers are going to do against Iowa this weekend. Are y'all optimistic at all?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering. I just wanted to know. I want to see where we're at on this Tuesday afternoon.
What was that word you just said? Optimism? Like that is insane. We're talking about, are they the worst team in the Big Ten right now? Not even like optimistic against Iowa. Like I'm hoping that Northwestern finishes below them at this point.
I know it's a tough state of affairs when you have Brewers playing like they are. The Packers always in the hunt. The Bucks always chasing something. And the Badgers were that, right? Like they were that for such a long time. And now they're kind of that team where everybody's just like, well, if we're gonna drop a team in Wisconsin, it's gonna be the Badgers because they just are not even showing up for us on a week out basis.
It's Infinity Stones, but what did it cost?
Oh,
Wisconsin
everything.
Badgers.
Everything.
Everything.
I know we got a minute here before we get to the top.
But the
of the
Badgers
hour.
wouldn't have paid for it.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Facts.
Facts.
We did make fun of it. But the Bucks last night did beat the Heat 103-93 in preseason action. 15 players played 10 minutes or more. Like, that's how you know that preseason action really is like the NFL preseason.
Yeah.
Everybody gets equal minutes. Like, nobody played 20 minutes. I think AJ Green and Kyle Kuzma both played 17, and Pete Nance led the team in scoring with 15 points.
Of course
Nobody's ever even heard of Pete Nance, but he had a great plus minus, so he must be. But it's just like getting back into shape. Giannis was there, but did not play. Report came out today. Shams, who just keeps writing about Giannis, says the Bucks, and the only team they talked seriously about Giannis during the offseason was the Knicks. But the Knicks had already traded all their first rounders from Michael Bridges last year, so they have like one first round pick.
Yeah.
So like that's not even worthy of an article, Shams. If the Knicks can't engage in conversation, why is this a story?
It's not a story.
Dumb.
It's just Giannis gets all that attention, right? It's just like, I think it's a national media. Like, why is Giannis in Milwaukee?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
He won a championship there, and he wants to win more. Like, he loves it. So it's like, stop writing the stories for him. Like, he says what you want him to say, and he says all the things, and he evaluates, and then just move on. Stop writing the stories.
We're going to hear from Christian Watson when we come back. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of our Green Bay Packers.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Mason Crosby in the house. Mace, I know that it's like Tuesday, but I feel like because of playoff baseball and the different times of the games, like I feel like our days are all mixed up. Like I don't have a feel for it being Tuesday today.
Yeah, it almost felt like Thursday. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a weird week, but you know, I'm here for it. Playoff baseball makes everything better, just like any playoff run. Like I don't even care what day it is. Let's just be here and be crushing it every day.
We should get a day off for every show we do, like playoff baseball.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That
is
is
so weird.
Yeah.
So weird to have off day game.
It's a lot of days off.
Like, what are we doing?
You know who deserves today off, Mason? It's when I get a snap, I fall down, and then I fall down again,
yes,
and then I almost get sacked, but then I run for a game-winning touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, the greatest quarterback in the history of Jordan Herbert.
I've said a lot of dumb
Jordan
things.
Herbert.
Wait, what did I say?
No, I'm saying I've said a lot of dumb things.
Okay.
But man, Trevor Lawrence is just Justin Herbert is not looking that dumb right now. Just saying. Just saying.
Justin Herbert wouldn't have fell down though. If he got stepped on,
right.
he would have stayed up and he probably pushed his lineman into the block. He probably would have thrown a touchdown and ran one in at the same time.
It's amazing.
This is like it's the meme of Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are fighting for like the third place on the podium with the champagne, and then it's like all the other good quarterbacks are ahead of them. Like we're just arguing mid, but it's proving that the gap between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert might not be as big as you think.
I don't know. Y'all know ball. Y'all did call out the Jacksonville Jaguars
all three of us
as a good team.
Yes.
We all three of us picked the Jags to cover last night.
Sneaky.
And it was sneaky, and they needed a pass interference call with 30 seconds left in the end zone. That helped out a little bit. And
but they had some that didn't get called.
That's true, they did. Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs were literally just blocking downfield on pick plays half the game.
Well, that's what the Chiefs have been doing for how many years and get away with it.
2017. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly. So, So that was. But you know what? So we're watching the game in the
Press box.
in the press box. Thank you.
Yeah.
And literally that touchdown basically was like 10 seconds before Contreras' home run. So it's like we're all like, oh my gosh, Trevor Lawrence is Trevor. That's so Trevor Lawrence. Boom, and then all of a sudden the place explodes.
You sent a text, and I tell you guys, like, because of how I watch games, like I can't watch them on my phone because I get everything too early.
That is correct.
And again, you were at the game and
I was early.
You sent OMG, but I think you sent it for Trevor Lawrence.
I think you're right.
And then William Contreras did hit a homer after because I was like, I'm
it was
not
all
this
at the
far
same
behind.
time. Right. I can't be this delayed.
Right. So, it was all at the same time. Exactly. You scared me that I missed something.
No,
but it was Trevor Lawrence. Oh my God.
We talked about getting rests here on the Mason Crosby Show. And remember, you can be a part of the show. 414-677-1250. We've got a good text from the 715 that we're going to wait for Jocko because it's Badgers related. So we'll bring Jocko into that conversation.
That'll be interesting.
Yep, absolutely. But another person who deserves a rest today, I think, is Christian Watson, because Christian Watson coming out, his window's open. He's not technically, is he technically activated off the PUP, or his window's open for how does it work?
He's not counted on the roster.
Okay.
So they have activated him off the PUP
and so he has 21
practice
days
window. Yeah.
Right. So he has 21 days to either be activated or back on the PUP for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year. Yeah. So today is a big day for Christian Watson. Tuesday, got some work in yesterday. So he's in the training room, just kind of rehabbing, doing all the stuff. I'm sure they got him up and running again just to see how that knee responds on the second day. But then, they're just doing all that recovery process.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday, I would guess after yesterday, this is like the most important day of his week is to make sure that his body's body's recovering well, that this knee didn't swell up, that he feels good. He doesn't have any other issues, coming back from a knee injury that can happen, right? If you're kind of countering off of something else. So Tuesdays, whenever you're coming back from an injury, are always the most important day. Just that off day to make sure you get your mind and your body right to try to get a full week of work. I feel like if he gets a fairly full week of work in this week, I mean, it's not that far-fetched that you might not see him the following week.
Yeah. He won't play this Sunday, right?
I don't think he's playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they need to. I think that would be dumb to play Christian Watson this week. I would think that long trip to Arizona might be a tough one for him to get back to as well, just because of the road trip and all that. What will be good is he'll travel.
Yeah.
He'll warm up before the game. Like, he can do a lot of the stuff and kind of just see where he's at. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him against the Steelers at the end of October.
Yeah.
That'd be
Tommy,
my
I know
guess.
you have a bunch of sound from Christian from practice yesterday.
Yeah, just want to get his words on it. He spoke on his confidence in his knee right now.
Oh, I mean, honestly, my trust and confidence in the knee is honestly 100%. I've tried to, kind of remove any, doubt or, negative thoughts about it. Just trust in the work that I put in and, understand that, the things that I've done, the things I did today and everything, I've done, them, thousands of times at this point. So, I mean, that's my main thing. I don't want to, do anything that I haven't done in a controlled setting. And obviously, as I'm able to get into those more uncontrolled settings, just continue to have that confidence will be big.
Yeah, he also spoke on more hurdles that he might need to get over during this rehab process as well.
I'd say the only hurdle really is just, getting live reps and getting back into everything. Kind of like I said, it's just not going to rust off, getting back into, full football mode, live bullets.
Yeah, it's the contact. It's not, it's not running. His knee's fine, right? Like, his knee's fine. Now it's, and he's had this before, knock on wood again, it's his hamstrings. It's the, it's the hip flexor. It's the stuff that he's going to use in a different way once he's going against live reps against professional defensive backs. Because he's run the routes. He's done all that. He's done individual drills probably for the last month or so, or, month and a half. So now it's getting live reps and that progression where he gets bumped coming out of a route, or he gets, it's like all of those things will be part of this progress. And they're going to have to test it. They're going to have to test it in practice before they feel confident with him getting out onto a field on game day. So he's going to have to stress himself here the next couple of weeks, and they're going to have to put him in positions to simulate game-like situations. So coaches, just like any sport, coaches are creatures of habits. They have to see it, 50, 100 times before they feel confident calling a play or doing, putting someone in a position to go be successful. So they will want to see him in all of those strained situations before they ever decide he's ready to go out on the field.
And you mentioned it, Mason, about like in any sport that the coaches have to do this. And I see so many similarities between this and what the Brewers have done over the last couple of weeks with bringing Trevor McGill back and bringing Quintana back and testing Woodruff, and even with Mizorowski when he was coming back, especially with pitchers. I mean, with hitters too, and now with Churio and his hamstring, where it's like you have that off day where you try to get somebody healthy and you run them through all the drills, and then you see how they respond the next day, and then you have a really good feeling about whether Quintana or McGill are going to make the postseason roster, and whether Woodruff is not going to make the postseason roster, and how that all plays. It's to me, it's interesting. One of the things, and I'll bring you inside radio for a second. One of the things I love doing the show with you, Mason, is like bringing that perspective and going cross sport sometimes, where sometimes it's like totally, it doesn't make any sense. Like we're talking about baseball series versus football one games, but we're talking about injuries now where like there's so many similarities about how these guys go through their process. And if you have a good training staff and you have the right doctors and you have the good coaches, like they really do take good care of you and don't say you have to fail. Don't put you in a Jair Alexander situation, or even like when they rushed Christian back last year. Like I think they learned a lot from that.
Yeah, you learn a lot. And again, like the Brewers and baseball, they play, like we're just seeing them play more games. Like don't get it wrong. Like the NFL football player, like those practices, those are live reps. I mean, they like, other than the tackling, I mean, you're expected to go full speed. Like when I was kicking field goals, it was expected to go out there and perform like it was a game. Like I had to show everybody, myself, coaches, everyone in front of me, the whole team, that I was prepared for that game.
Yep.
So like you have to, like every day of practice, you are preparing for a game and you're preparing in that practice like a game day. So it's like you're not out there just kind of messing around.
Right.
Like it's time to go to work. And so like I think Christian Watson's progression will be he'll probably, he probably a little sore today. He'll get all that rehab recovery. He'll probably feel good tomorrow. Yep. He'll probably get a little extra work. Be sore on Thursday. Like it's going to be a progression of like, all right, can he stack days on top of each other? And I think that's
stacking success.
Stacking success. Yeah. Yep. That is literally every sport. That is what they want to see. That is what a coach, that's what the personnel, that's what the trainers want to see. And it's wild though. He'll go through that progression and all of a sudden it'll just break, like he'll just be past it. It's amazing with those trainers, what they can do, like how they operate, the mindset of how they get you back into playing form. I mean, there were weeks where literally my hip locked up or, my knee was killing me on like after Thursday practice. And then like go in the trainer, do all the stuff. And then by Sunday, I was like a new man. Right. So it's like, you can't just say like, I'm done.
I
like,
need one of those trainers, Tommy.
Yeah. You have to learn how to deal, like to also push past that.
Oh,
Are you like, it's a classic. Are you injured or are you hurt?
Yes.
And it's just like, am I hurting? Am I sore? Or is something wrong? And I that's the professional's job as well as the player, is to identify in yourself, know your body well enough, how far you can push without taking it past being just hurting and sore to getting injured.
Yeah, and Christian Watson even commenting again yesterday on how he was able to come back so quickly from this ACL injury.
I mean, it's a lot of work, honestly. I mean, every day. I mean, I was kind of just giving the training room some grief last week. Because I still didn't get, any days off last week either. So, I mean, I haven't really taken a day off since my surgery. So, I mean, it's been a long road. I've just, trusted in, my doctors and my team back home and, trusted in the training room as well. And is getting after it.
Yeah.
Love it.
The hardest thing in professional sports is being injured. Like it's
got to be, because you want to be on the field, right?
And you're working like specific injury related exercises and drills and things, like they push you to your max to see how far, like how much you can take. And so like being injured is the hardest. Nobody wants to be on that injury list because you are working twice as much as everybody else because you're the first ones there. They expect you to be there, like, which is like rightfully so. You need to be in the building,
but it's a lot
before everybody, an hour before everyone, doing your rehab, because then you got to go to meetings and then you got to rehab another hour after practice, after meetings. So your day stretches 2 hours longer and you're doing all the extra stuff. And then now he's in that progression. He'll do rehab and he'll get into practice and then he'll go inside and they'll run him through more drills. So yes, it's taxing.
Nobody wants to stay after practice, Mace.
Oh, that's the worry. Yeah. But it's, I mean, the true pros try to do all that before they get hurt, so that maybe it's they won't have to do it being actually injured at some point.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Is Christian Watson allowed on the field before the game? Like, can he be out there just throwing? Like, if he's not on the roster. He's still but he's in his window. Is he allowed to be out there like an hour before, playing catch, running around, seeing
when do they have to decide if he's elevated?
Well, but let's say he's not elevated. Let's say he doesn't get elevated. Is he allowed to go on the field and like practice on the Sunday? Like, I would guess sure. Like, can't anybody from the practice squad be? But I don't know. Like, I don't know what.
Hoskins is in the dugout, even though he's not on the roster, right? Can he not play catch on the field? Right? I'm sure
baseball has different rules.
Well, right,
probably, but I don't know what that football. Like, I feel like once he's like in the practice window, he's able to practice. Like, I think technically, because he's not on practice squad, like he is part of the. I don't know.
Sunday morning at 10 at noon, because the game's a 3:25 game. Like Sunday at 1, Can he and Jordan Love go play catch? Can he run some routes on
Route 66?
Yeah. Can he run some routes on the field at Lambeau? Not even in uniform, but just like getting out there on the field as if he were getting ready for game day.
Here's what they'll do if it's not like allowed, like in the game, like or in like the framework of 2 hours before the game, they'll get him out there at 10 o'clock.
Okay,
like
yeah.
he'll
do
get work
something.
in on Sunday on the field. Yeah, they'll bring somebody out to throw passes, a personnel guy or somebody, so he'll get some work on Lambeau Field this Sunday in one form or fashion, whether it's within the like warm-up period or not. He definitely can't dress and like go through warm-ups with the team.
Right, of course.
But he can do like a rehab warm-up. I feel like that's probably I would assume that would be allowed.
NBC 15 in Madison, WMTV. Mike Jock, aka Jocko, good friend of I feel like everyone in sports in Wisconsin is a good friend of Jocko. Like he's just always has a smile, always has something nice to say. He was at the game last night. He was
awesome at my softball game. It was great.
He was great there. He's going to join us next here on the Mason Crosby Show, so can't wait to catch up with him, and we'll talk some Badgers with him. If you have any Badgers questions, football, but whatever, feel free to text in to Tommy's personal cell phone number. He will take those numbers.
Yep, I got it.
No, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. That's the Nicolay fan talk and text line. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, and we are in the fan studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey everybody, Mitch Nellis here. Football season's in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. You can make your picks and win money right now in Wisconsin. It's so easy. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. It's unbelievable. You can decide if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing touchdowns, receptions, touchdowns, more. I gotta think Micah Parsons is getting a Flacco on Sunday, so I like him going higher with sacks. But I really like Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft, Romeo Doubs. I think the passing offense for Green Bay will just be lit on Sunday. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Joe Flacco traded from the Browns to the Bengals today. Expected to start against the Packers 3:25 on Sunday. The Brewers win Game 2 against the Cubs last night, take a 2-0 lead. Game 3 tomorrow at 4:08 with Quinn Priester on the mound against Jamison Taillon. And the Wisconsin Badgers host the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday at 6 p.m. at Camp Randall. Joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show from NBC 15 WMTV, he is Mike Jocko. Jocko, great seeing you last night, and how are you, my friend?
Oh, my gosh, I'm still trying to get over how exciting that was, how much fun it was to be at AmFam Field. It's always sweet to beat the Cubs, so that made it even better. But that place was shaking. Like, I was in the, obviously you were in the press box. I was in the press box. But when Andrew Vaughn hit that 3-run home run in the first inning to tie it up, the press box felt like it was press box at Camp Randall because it started to shake a little bit. I mean, like, the excitement of that home run and that comeback last night, man, it was a great ride home from Milwaukee to Madison, even though I didn't get home till like 3:00. It was all of that was worth it.
Oh, Jocko. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I hope you got a little rest, but yeah, talk about that a little more. Cause I know Murph hit on a little bit in his press conference about, that they call it, the Wrigley North, during the regular season, things like that. Did you feel the presence of Cubs fans there, or were the Brewers fans out in droves and kind of taking over and making sure that home field advantage was strong there?
I felt it was out in droves. I felt like, I've been to many a regular season game when the Cubs are in town, and it does feel unfortunately like Wrigley North. I mean, there's always a well-attended game by Cubs fans. Sometimes it feels like 50-50. Man, there was a one game that I felt like it was more Cubs fans in the building than there were Brewers fans. Disappointing, but if you want to pay, that much money and give some Brewer fans some beer money, that's fine for regular season games. But I thought the last couple of games, Saturday and then Monday, that Brewer fans, that they showed up. They showed up and they were loud. Saturday the place was bonkers, and then last night it matched that. It just, it obviously helps when you come back, you hit 3 home runs that to score all 7 runs like that. But when Vaughn hit that home run and then Contreras, he matched that energy with hitting that dinger to left, and then Churio obviously. I was actually out in the stands when Churio hit his 3-run bomb. The place blows up, and the Cubs fans get really quiet, and it's awesome. But you're right that to talk about that and to need that, and the Brewers fans have showed up in both games, and it's been amazing.
That's awesome. Well, Jocko, I appreciate you jumping on the Mason Crosby Show, and we're going to move to Madison and talk about this Wisconsin Badgers team. And, they're facing the Iowa Hawkeyes this weekend, but, talk about what, transpired last weekend against those Michigan Wolverines, and then we'll move on to this week's game as we preview that. So just tell us what you thought about the game against Michigan, kind of where the state of this program is, and all things Badgers football so far this season.
Yeah, I thought that the Badgers looked great. I shouldn't say great. Okay, let's reel it in a little bit. But,
Tommy just rolled his eyes.
I know. Okay, I know, and I rolled my eyes at my. It's hard to do, but I was looking in the mirror, so they look better. They looked like they actually had a purpose. Like there was intent. That to have their third string quarterback come out there and play well and drive down the field and show. I thought the running game looked great for the first time this year.
For a drive.
For a drive,
yeah,
for a drive,
thanks,
right?
Thanks,
I'm talking about this
little
one
wins,
drive, one drive. So minor details, minor victories for the Badgers. They came out and showed some stuff, and it looked great. And then you think, why can't you guys do that? And I know that Michigan's obviously a very talented team, both sides of the ball, special teams as well. But to come out and look like that and look like they knew they were, I keep going to having a purpose. Like they were playing, like they had a reason to do that well. They should play the snap. But I just thought that things looked a little bit different. Like things are improving. You lose 14 points on the road at Michigan. Usually not a horrible thing. It's happened to many a team. But I thought that in the second half they could have played better and with more of that purpose. But I thought there were signs of life. And so that gave me hope. I go back to the beginning of the season. People are like, what do you think? What do you think? And, I started to hate that question because I'm, several years ago, and I've told Mitch this, you would ask me, what do you think of the Badgers? And if I would have said 6-6, it'd have been like, forget you, and even five wins at the beginning of the season. I'm like, oh my, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud because, it used to be, you'd say 9-3 and people would be like, what's wrong with the team this year? Is there something wrong? And so, the expectations have been so high in Madison, to say 5-5 or 5-7, pardon me. And 6-6 seems like it's disappointing to even say it out loud, but I thought this year was going to be, obviously you look at the schedule even before the year starts and it's atrocious to play Ohio State, to play at Michigan, to go to Oregon and play there. And you just knew that this was not going to be easy for any team really to play that schedule. But I thought if the Badgers made improvements, if they look good, if they beat the teams they are supposed to beat, that you're going in the right direction. Well, all that went out the window when they lost to Maryland at home.
Yeah.
They lost ugly. So, I kept going back, well, Gibbs is, I like Luke Fickell a lot. So I want him to do well. So I thought, here's your chance. And then to lose to Maryland, I still think he's the coach and he's in the right place. And they are, this showed me that they're getting better. Unfortunately, that loss to Maryland was like, God, why you didn't have to do that? You're ruining my argument for you. But I still think that, the Badgers, transitioning to Saturday, they're going in the right direction, and Saturday is huge for this program.
Yeah, so I just was looking online, and Fickell talked about this matchup against Iowa, and he says there's no doubt that what happened last year is something that's fresh on the minds of everybody on this team. Fickell said about riding the ship after last year's showing against Iowa, so he's fired up for this opportunity. What do you think that's the right mindset, or how do you think they should approach this game coming up this weekend?
They should cry. They should cry beforehand.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mason. It just last year I remember going to that game. It was a night game. It was on NBC, and ready to show the world that this is a program. They had won a whole bunch of games in a row, and unfortunately they lost the last 5, and this was near the start of that, and yeah, they got run over by Iowa. I mean, usually you're used to a 7-3 game, or 12-9 would be great because the more field goals the better, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I'm a big fan of field goals. So
me too.
Those are the games that Wisconsin fans were used to, with Iowa, and I think a lot of teams are used to those kind of games with Iowa. They're just going to be a low scoring affair, but they got boat raced by Iowa at Iowa, and I know it left a lot of the whole end of the last year left bad taste in mouths of many here in Madison, especially within the program. So I like the approach that, hey, I guess anything to work. If your approach is we need to get some revenge from last year, so be it. Let go out there and play like you're pissed off a little bit. So why not take this opportunity to be mad, to try to get revenge against Iowa? It's homecoming here in Madison. It's always crazy in Madison. No matter, I don't care if you're talking about football, basketball, politics. There's always something going on that's crazy. So for this to be homecoming week, to have it be a little bit extra special, it's always different when Iowa comes to Madison and when Madison goes to Iowa City. But to have them come in here, I feel like it's the right time for something good to happen for the Badgers.
Jocko, NBC 15 in Madison, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Any quarterback insight for us, Jocko? We've seen we've now seen 3 starting quarterbacks for this Badgers team.
Right.
Is anything like? Anytime you've started 3 quarterbacks this early in a season, that usually is bad. Yeah, that's not good.
The talk of all last week there was no doubt in anybody's mind that Danny O'Neal was going to be the quarterback. And you keep thinking, well, when's Billy Edwards coming back? So nobody expected third string. Who knows? Maybe the 4th string gets announced this week to kind of change things up. But I just think that it'd be nice to see Edwards come back, Billy Edwards Jr. come back, and to lead this team. They've kind of been keeping it close to the vest. They're going to talk to the media. And last week, Danny O'Neal showed up at our press availability, and so everybody just assumed that he was the starting quarterback. And that Hunter Simon said that it kind of changed the whole dynamic of who's going to be running out there this week. It seems like from the talk is that Billy Edwards continues to improve, but maybe just not well enough to get out there and play a full game. Back to Luke Fickell, every year he's been here, and I guess I am making excuses for him, but his starting guy has been so much better than the rest of the guys, and he's got hurt every year. So I give Luke Fickell that, that excuse.
That is tough.
Just
Injuries.
So,
injuries are an issue.
Right. So it's not like he's going out there throwing his best guys out there and you're losing like that. But I keep hoping that Danny O'Neal gets his chance. I thought the Badgers looked decent. I don't want to get anybody mad back there in the booth that they didn't look great, but for a while they did. That's what gave me so much excitement in that first drive. I'm like, who are these dudes? I think back to the movie Major League and be like, who are these guys? There's a word in between there, but it was it was great to see, and I hope that with whoever's at quarterback that there's more improvements and they can pull off a homecoming win in Madison.
All right, Jocko, since you refuse to get angry about the Badgers, I will.
I know you're so positive, Jocko.
I want to comment. We talked about this 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I know yourself, also an AP writer. What's going on with the AP poll right now? Everyone seems to hate you guys. I wanted to at least get you to have a comment on maybe some of Haley Sawyer's comments from a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you've spoken publicly about it, but to basically say the AP poll does not matter 2 or 3 weeks ago, like comments on that, Jocko, because I'm sure you have words.
Yeah. And I think she also said that it all evens out somewhere, so it doesn't. Yeah, I think she said it all evens out. Like whoever I vote for, it doesn't really matter. It all evens out. And I guess she was right because I think I left Florida State out early on, which was maybe one of the I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, you guys, probably in the top 3 because and I'm kidding, of course, because Florida State fans were so I got some hate mail. I got some, Twitter was blowing up. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna be like Kirk Herbstreit because Kirk got them mad a couple of years ago and left them off of the college football playoffs, and they just hate him. And I think somebody said let's treat Jocko like Kirk Herbstreit. I'm like, no, this guy, come on, but when they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a voter, I'm like, oh, this is great. It's something to put on, this is something I can brag about at parties and stuff like that. And like, I'm an AP voter, top 25, baby. I made cards. No, I didn't make cards, but just there is a lot of hate for the like if you don't vote for teams, and I think it's obviously she's wrong. It still does matter. Obviously, from all the Florida State fans getting mad, and then I get an email from some Utah guy or I guess he's a Utah guy, hates BYU. And I was also getting, emails from people that are, like they kept wanting me to vote, Florida against Florida. And then, if I go to their Twitter handle, it's like, oh, you're a Florida State guy. So like this team is horrible. Alabama, of course, everybody hates Alabama, and they lose their first game, but now they come back and they're looking pretty decent. But you can't vote for Alabama just because, they've been around for so long and been in the top 10. You're only voting for Alabama because they're always in the top 10. So I've grown to take pride, from week one, I took pride in voting for this thing and making sure that I do my due diligence and make sure I do my homework. Florida State, they kind of get me a little bit riled up, but I don't want to hold it against their team. It's just, it's random people. This is the first time I've ever noticed there's random mean people on the internet. I've never noticed that before. How does that happen? But it's been great to vote. I do think that, I think she was trying to say something different as far as it evening out, but she didn't really say her words correctly.
Well, Jocko,
I'm just even out because there's 61 people on there, but it has been very cool.
I'm looking out for you because I don't want people to just
Thank you.
I just don't want people to think
we don't want any haters out there.
Right. So next thing you know, someone's just going to say,
everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So I just, I'm just making sure that you're all good because we've had a good time together, and the AP under some heat right now, Jocko, and I think
it's only under heat when people don't get voted where they think they should be voted. Nobody's complaining. Iowa State, I'm sure, is happy to keep their number one spot, although Miami and Oregon have played well. So we'll see what,
Right.
I don't expect them to be to lose to Brett Bielema and the boys on Saturday, but, they've got some big games coming up too. So Miami, I was, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but I will, but I was happy that Miami beat Florida State just from some of the flack.
Yeah. Well, and next thing you know, like after Haley speaks, everyone's just saying
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So I just don't want that to happen to Jocko. That's all I'm looking out for.
I feel like I'm at a work meeting where it sounds like my boss is in the room. It's just, or at least at home. That's my wife recorded that for me.
That's awesome. Jocko, I got one quick thing I want to hit you with before we wrap this thing up. And again, really appreciate you jumping on. But we had a question on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. And if anyone wants to jump on that, it is 414-677-1250. And I just wanted to read this one to you. Do you think the football program ever gets to the point that the students, fans actually leave before jump around to make a statement instead of after? Have heard of this from student relatives that are going to the college at UW. And this is from someone. They said, tell Jocko this comment is from Merrill, his old stomping ground. So someone from Merrill.
Awesome. Hello to people in Merrill. Love the Blue Jays.
Nice.
Loved working in Wausau and that market. It was awesome.
Heck yeah.
I think that most of the time, and I think here, I'll go off on a different tangent, but like they need to figure out a different way of getting the students inside because everybody blames the students for being late. The students are there. They have to wait in this long line and they have to go single file into the building, which I know, Badger fans have always been crazy. The student section has always been known to be crazy, but they're doing them single file for each row, one by one. And it takes them forever to get inside the building. So the students are getting there on time. It's just a matter of getting them inside the building. I know people have done stories on it before. They need to figure something out because I don't blame the students. I also enjoy that they're drinking at the dorms beforehand, and I've been there, done that. But I just think that I don't think I've heard that rumor before about, like the students should lead before jump around. But I mean, like, that's been for the like for the Maryland game, that was the best part of the whole game, was doing the jump around.
That's
so
what
why would you
right?
want to lead before that? There was a mass exodus of people leaving after the jump around. I don't think that Luke Fickell will care. I don't think that, anybody in the administration, Mac, won't care that that the students leave before that. It'll look bad, but I just think, like, if you're coming to a game, part of the excitement of being there is hearing the band, hearing the jump around, and hopefully, like, with improvement, there'll be a better product on the field.
Yeah, I love that, Jocko, because I agree. And I implore everyone, every time they go to Lambeau Field, get there, get loud, be a difference maker. Like, the performance on the field is what matters. So, like,
Right.
you leaving or not leaving, like if they don't win, like, the chips are going to fall how they may. Like, people will get fired,
Right.
things will change if they don't perform. Go support the team, support the guy, like the people playing on the field. Don't worry about all the politics of who's going to be the coach and all those things. Like, be there, support. That's the fans' like job and their duty. And then like the rest will happen. Like, if they don't win games, Fickell won't be there. So, like,
Right.
you leaving or staying is not going to change that narrative. Like, winning and losing is what changes that.
Yeah, cheer on the kids that are busting their butts. Cheer on the band that they're busting their butts. Do everything you can, to help. And I know that we're arguing about, well, we pay good money. We can't fire Fickell. We can boo against our own team. To me, it doesn't make sense because, it's guys 18 to 22 that are nobody's trying to lose. Nobody's trying to make their team look bad. Nobody's trying to make their state look bad, the college look bad. Extra encouragement would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you, Jocko, and look forward to having you on again sometime. And I hope these Badgers can take it to Iowa there and homecoming in Madison.
That would be awesome. I'd love to be on anytime, and it's always an honor to talk to you and the rest of the gang. And the softball game at Beloit was amazing. Top 10 moment of my life. It was.
Well, man, I appreciate you. Yes,
it was awesome.
Thank you for being there, and I can't wait for next year.
I was going to say, hopefully the first of many. Yes.
Yeah, count me in.
All right.
All right.
Mike Jacques, sports director, NBC 15 WMTV in Madison, joining us. And man about town. Always great to catch up with Jocko. We will come back with Mason's Extra Points to wrap things up here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Salts. All right, I'm going to say a couple things probably real quick to get Thunder fired up.
Yeah,
so I just saw Shams was on talking about the Giannis stuff again.
Right.
It's like, why is he still leaning in? Basically,
So
I
dumb.
guess here's what probably happened. The Knicks probably called the Bucks and said, like, hey, would you be willing to trade? And that call got leaked that it happened. And now it's his story. It's like, and the Bucks are like, yes, what will you give us? Nothing. Okay.
They have no
conversation over.
The Knicks have no number one picks left. It's a non-story.
Why lean into it?
It's so stupid. Shams is so lazy.
That's just lazy. That's lazy ball.
Ridiculous.
And I was just looking over power rankings. Mitch, so just exciting about power rankings this week.
Brewers number one.
Lions went to one.
Lions went to
one. Lions won.
And we beat the Lions. So.
Eagles 2, Bucks 3.
Yep.
Bills dropped to 4.
It's fine.
Colts 5. Jags went to 6.
No.
I mean, they're 4-1.
I know, but the Packers are better than the Jaguars.
Chiefs aren't very good, though.
That's true.
49ers went to 7. Nope. I don't like the Rams above the Packers.
Nope.
Packers dropped to 9 without playing. So
all right, that's fine. That's fine.
Broncos
right where you
10,
want to be.
Steelers 11, Commanders 12.
Mason on October 7th. That's where you want to be.
I like being there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, never want to, don't want to be, don't want to be in that one spot too early. It's just climb your way up that ladder, plod along. I think the Packers work best when they're somewhat in that underdog role where it's just like, all right, we're just going to sneak up on you. Come November, end of November, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my gosh, the Packers have the best record in football.
And Mason,
let's get this thing going.
I don't know if you knew this, but you can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game all season long. Kicking off with the juicy Week 6 matchup between Joe Flacco and the Bengals and the Green Bay Packers. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
I was confident that Joe Flacco is older than Mason Crosby.
No, he's a year younger.
He's like 3 months younger. His birthday's in January. He'll be 41 in January.
Young buck, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still got it.
Yeah, young buck. I love it. Nice, nailed it.
Yeah, just looking down at those young guys, just still out there balling. Just those young guys out there.
But balling or balding? What did you say?
I don't know. Is he balding?
No, he's probably not. He's probably got the Turkish hair implants. He's probably good. He's got enough money for it.
Seattle and Detroit today at 3. Toronto can sweep the Yankees today at 7 if they win in New York.
Yeah, that one's over too.
Yeah, that one's got. Yeah, that's you would think.
Bye, Yankees.
Yep.
Sorry, Tommy. I'm gonna have to find a new team.
Tiger Tommy.
Tiger Tommy.
He is kind of Tiger Tommy.
Great show, fellas. What an awesome Tuesday. And hey, I'll be on Wednesday, Human Wednesday with Mason Crosby style.
And are we going to do Extra Points and Thunder Watch tomorrow? We can do them both.
I think a little combo. Yeah. Let's do it. Because I need to know who's on Thunder Watch.
Make it as confusing as possible for Brandon, as I will not be here.
Tommy gets a day off.
Well, I'm working.
Forced day off.
Just later in the day.
I don't approve of this at all.
I won't be. It'll be the first time I've ever been not on the show, and Mason has been on the show the exact same time.
Wow.
So,
look at us making history. Almost on our 1 year anniversary, too.
I know. We're so close. 5 days away. All right. Well, Mace, have a great day, my man.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Do you want me to?
Nah, we're good. It's the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon. Everybody knows. Go get your Verizon phone. Let's go.